Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hello if you are new. My name is Jess and today I'm going to be walking you through my Second Brain 2.0 Notion template. Alrighty, we've made it to part 3, the final part of my Second Brain 2.0 walkthrough. So in this video, we're going to walk through the additional pages. The gaming corner and the travel hub already have walkthroughs of those, so I'm not going to go through those in detail, but we'll do the on the shelf, the big screen, the wardrobe, and through the years. The on the shelf is my reading tracker, and this, I've had reading trackers out basically since I started selling Notion templates. So this one has been adapted and worked on for basically like 2 years. So the gist of it is exactly the same as all the others. There is just some new features that weren't there before. So there is a dashboard along the side with a log new book button, and this is mainly for when you're on mobile to just make it really easy to add a new book if you need to. I'll go through all these pages once we get to them. There's then your currently reading, up next, and paused views, which pull in some of the data from your book. I have a view of your yearly progress, so you can see how many books you're currently reading, how many you've read throughout the year, and how many pages in total you've read. And the new part that I really like is the challenges. So if we create one so you can see it, let's just do December reading challenge. Give it a cute emoji. Let's just say, well, I mean, it's Christmas, right? Let's do a Christmas emoji. So status is active, type, you can do reading challenge. This could be a book list, it could be a book club. Pick whichever suits you. The start date, we will say December 1st. Finish date, December 31st. And then the goal books that you want to read. So I'm going to do like Twin Crowns, which I've just finished. First Crowns, which I've just started as of today. And you can add as many books into your reading challenge as you wish. I will select the book challenge template, and this will pull in any notes that you want to create, as well as the books that you have read or added to your list for this challenge. And then you will also get this little progress label, which will let you know you've read one of the 2 books in this challenge. So that's all it is. It's just a way of tracking any challenges that you want to do. You can add a cover image. I have a legend on the side because I read on, I mean, you could do this with physical books too, but because I read on Apple Books, I will sometimes highlight portions of the book within that I want to track. So this is my way of tracking, of noting what I'm tracking. This isn't important. You can delete this whole section if you don't like it, but for me, that was just so I could remember what the colors meant as I was going through new books. Further down, we have the library, which is where you add your new books into, and this is all the data that you can track within a book. So if we just open one, you will see now with the new customized layouts, I have tweaked the layout of this compared to my original reading tracker. This has actually been done on lots of the pages within this template, but because I recorded part 1 and 2 before this feature came out, they aren't shown in the video, but they are in the template. So you can see here, you can track the author, your status, your rating, and the genres. Under the general tab, there is, of course, you can archive the book once you've read it, track if it's fiction or non-fiction, track the format, track how far through the book you are, the total length. This is where the data will pull into your total pages read for the yearly progress tracker. And then you'll get a progress bar for how far through the book you are. If it is part of a reading challenge, it will show up here as well. Just scrolling down, one of the amazing things with the new automations that I've set up, which will work for you even if you have the free Notion plan, you just won't be able to edit them, but you can delete them if you don't want them. So when I select a new book and I select that I am reading it, it will auto-populate the start date. And when I put in that I've finished the book in the status, it will auto-populate the finish date for you. So you don't have to enter these fields. And then I have a formula that works out the reading time for you. So you can see how long it took you to read a book. And then you can also list how many times through you've read that book. There is a series section, so you can of course track if it's part of a series, which I'll show you in its unique page soon. What type of series it is, whether it's a series, companion, or standalone. Also whether it's a duology, trilogy, saga, etc. The number in the series, so then it will let you know that this is book 1 in the series or book 2, etc. And then of course, in our para dashboard, as always, you have to add it to the year so that it will populate your yearly tracking data. All the books also will have this template by default. So when you add a new book, this template will populate where you can add the book cover, add the little blurb or description of the book, add your own thoughts about it, and then you can add quotes and notes which do go into their own database, which I'll show you soon also. So that is everything. It's quite a lot to track, and of course if you don't want to track all of this information, you can delete any of these properties that don't suit you. So we have a yearly archive page. So this will pull in every year. As you can see, I've been using this since 2022, and that way it's just a very nice quick overview of how many books you've read each year, how many pages in total. The next page is the series tracker, which is one that I actually really love, where you can pull in the series and track the overall series data. So if we just pop into the Shepherd King series, for example, this will pull in the author by default based on the books added to the series. It will also pull the genre by default based on the books added to the series. You can select whether the series is still ongoing or whether the series is complete. And again, the series type and serial will pull in from the book data. So most of this you really don't have to do anything with. You just have to select whether it's a complete series or not. And then also whether you've read the book or not, or read the books in the series or not, will populate based off your own data. So this page is super simple. You don't really have to do anything. It's just a nice page to go back to and look at. And this also comes with a template which will let you know the books in the series and it will list them out in order for you. The next page is the list and challenges. So I just wanted somewhere that would hold all of your past challenges so you can see how well you've done. It's just a super quick view of the challenge name, the dates, whether this challenge is active or complete, what type of challenge it was, how many books you read out of the challenge that you gave yourself, and then it will also list those books that were part of that challenge. Then we have the genre and trope gallery. These used to be split into 2 pages, but I've merged them into one just to simplify things a little bit. As you add your genres to your books in the library, this will add them to this page. As you can see, I've got like 28 books in my library that are contemporary, 9 in dystopia, 2 in gothic, etc, etc. The other cool thing is when you click into one of these, it will auto-populate the books for you so you can see which ones are in that genre and see whether you've read them or not. So for example, if you felt like you wanted to read a book with Faye, you could come in here and find a book that's on your TBR and then add it to your reading list. The notes and quotes is what I mentioned pulls back into the legend. So when I've highlighted quotes in my books, I've also tried to add them in here. It is a bit of admin, so I don't always do it. It's sort of just for my favorite books. I'll add the page number, I will add the detail of the quote, and I will highlight it in the color that is associated with it. I will note who it's spoken by, and this pulls into our notebook, which we looked at in the para dashboard. But it is formatted as a quote, so it stays in that particular section. The notes works in the exact same way. It's just for tracking your notes that you want to make about the book. So there we have it. That's everything in the reading tracker. This is one of my favorite pages. It is the page I use, I think. Other than the today in planning, this is the page I use the most often. So I really hope you love it as much as I do. We'll pop into the big screen. This one will be very quick because it is very, very similar to the reading tracker. The genre gallery, the notes and quotes, the yearly archive, entire library, these all work exactly the same as the reading tracker did. The only thing that's different is I have a Halloween and Christmas page, and these are purely to track Halloween and Christmas movies. I really love at those times of year to watch Halloween movies in October, to watch Christmas movies in November and December. So I like having them in one place that are just really easy to find. And then I have my favorites of my favorites along the top. As I said, the Christmas page is exactly the same, obviously just less populated because there are less good Christmas movies. I would love for you to prove me wrong and post more in the comments because I struggle to find good Christmas movies, especially modern ones. So please let me know if you have any suggestions. We'll just pop into one of the currently watching so you can see the data that is sort of populated within here. You'll select your status based off your progress within the program, whether you're watching it, rewatching it, waiting on the next season, or you've finished it. Type whether it's film or television, platform, and then of course your rating. The archive, of course, will be ticked off once you've finished watching the show. Have the media status so you can tell whether the show is still going, cancelled, or complete. The genre is of course the same as the reading tracker, the year that the show was released. All of these, by the way, you can close down if you want to not be so cluttered with the data, which I love about the new Notion feature. The start date and completion date work very similar to the reading tracker. The only thing I haven't done is when you select watching, it won't populate the start date for you. And this is only because if you switch something to waiting on next season and then switch back to watching when the new season comes out, it would repopulate the start date, and I don't want that because I want it to be from when I originally started the show. So this one, unfortunately, you will have to populate yourself because I haven't found a way around that yet. The completion date will populate when you select that you've watched the show or dropped it, and it will let you know your watch time. The series information is sort of similar to the bookmark and pages progress in the reading tracker, so you can select which season you're currently on, the current episodes you're on, and the total episodes that the show has, and this will let you know the next episode you have to watch, which when you're in this view, you can just see next episode is 23. So again, this feature is a little bit detailed, and if it's too much admin, just don't worry about it, you don't have to do it. There's a report that lets you know where you're at, so 22 out of 34. And the really cool thing that I like is when this keeps saying next episode as you progress through the show, let's just say that we switch this to watched. it will let you know next episode that this is complete. And then of course, as always, add the year. So as you can see, because I selected watched, the completion date has now populated with today, and it's let me know my watch time. So I'm just going to clear this and pop it back to watching because we don't want that. And again, as the reading tracker, it has a template that will populate for you with, you can add the banner, you can add the description, add your thoughts, quotes and notes. We have a year-to-date view, the same as the reading tracker, but we don't have a challenges one for this because I don't really know that you would ever want to challenge yourself to watch a certain amount of TV. I mean, maybe you do, but that's not included with this template, unfortunately. This will let you know how many shows you're currently watching and how many films and shows you've watched throughout the year. And one thing I didn't really show with the reading tracker, which I should have, is of course there is the full library, which has all of that information. There is a visual view, so you can see the cover images, you can just see some of the detail. If you want to change any of these details that you can see, just click these 3 little dots, click the properties shown, and hide or show any of the properties that you want to see. There is a ready to start section, which is basically just any show that isn't marked as watched. Then of course we have a watch section, so you can see what you've watched, and this is in order based off the dates that you have marked the show is complete. So it's sort of in backwards order, so that you can see your most recent shows down to your most historic shows, which I think is really cool. Waiting on next season is for all those shows that have, of course, finished up, but not completely finished up, and you're just waiting for them to come back. And then I have a view for just the TV shows and just the films in case, again, you just want to watch a movie rather than searching through the whole database, you can just see the films. So that's everything in the big screen. Quickly popping into the gaming corner, as I said, I'm not going to go through this in detail because I have a full walkthrough of it already, which is linked in the playlist, and I'll link it in the cards above. But at a quick glance, you can see this is very similar again to the reading tracker and the media tracker, and it works in very much the same way. Next, we have the wardrobe, which is actually a super fun page. So first of all, I guess I should go through, there is this little view just under the main planner where you populate all of your clothes from your wardrobe. Obviously, I haven't done all of my clothes because that would just be a bit of a nightmare, but I kind of do it whenever I get something new now. And every time I throw things out or donate them, I try to remove them from here too. So I have categorized them based off the sort of layer type. So outer layers, dresses and play suits, tops, bottom, shoes, accessories, etc. So inside each item, you can track whether it's packed or not. Of course, this is for trip planning. A wish list item in case there's something you're wanting to buy, you haven't purchased it yet, but you sort of want to keep an eye on it. You can add it in here as a wish list. Of course, there's always a rating system, the brand that it's from, the category, of course, to pull into those views, and the style and the color and pattern, I should say, because there's also like floral, plaid, print, etc. included in here. The size and the URL in case you want to go back to it if it's like an online purchase. And then the lists fall into the daily planner and the trip planner, which I'll go to in more detail shortly. And then there is also, you can add what it goes with. So this one doesn't have anything, but if we say it goes with leather jacket, this will then add sort of a relation to that item so that when you're looking at your striped oversized tee, you can see what clothing items that goes with, and it helps you to build your outfits a little bit easier. So the builder works the same way as the weekly planner. So we'll just go into the weekly planner to start with. And all that you do is find something that you want to wear, drag it up into that day. Switch to the bottoms, drag it up into that day, accessories, shoes, etc. Just whatever items you want to try and plan for your outfit. And there you go. You've got Tuesday planned. I've also created views of basics, so that will not show the shoes and accessories. It'll just show the main clothing items. There's also a working week and a weekend, just to see those views a little bit less in case that's what you want. And then the outfit builder is just if you're trying to figure something out or you're just trying to figure an outfit out. There's no specific day or anything. It's probably for an event. You can do that here. So you can just pop it in and then just see what these things look like together. And once you're done and you're sort of like, okay, I've done my week, I want to do a new week, all you do is hit this button up the top that says Clear Planner, and they will all be removed and just be back down here. But you can add a clothing item into more than one day if you wish. So if you want to wear the same jersey 3 days, easily can. There's no trouble at all. Scrolling down, I have an inspo section, which is sort of where I've found clothes on Pinterest or outfits on Pinterest that I want to work towards building up in my own wardrobe. And I've just got little check boxes so I can say what items I own and what I don't. As you can see for this one, I have gone and sorted everything, and now I have this whole outfit, which is just amazing. You can track your measurements down in this table down the side, just a cool place to store that. I've also uploaded just some images here of my color palette. If you're interested in that, of course, you can just delete the section if that's not something you follow, but it's for me to kind of try and remember when I'm purchasing clothes that this is the color palette I should be looking at. There is a wardrobe manager, which is just basically where the database lives and where all of that information is stored. So you don't really need to go to this page unless you just want to see all of the data. And that's pretty much it for the wardrobe planner. It's honestly just a really fun page for just playing around with your wardrobe and your outfits, especially if you're trying to build like a capsule wardrobe or something like that. I find this would be really useful. As I mentioned before, I'm not going to go through the travel hub either because I have a full walkthrough of this template with everything in much more detail, so that'll again be linked. The only thing I will show you is that what I've added that it didn't have when I originally posted it is the outfit planner from the wardrobe is pulled into every trip that you plan now as well. If we go into outfit planner, it looks very much like the wardrobe does. So you have a calendar view. This will pull in your itinerary, which again will make sense if you watch the travel hub walkthrough. And then you can plan your outfits based on what day of the itinerary that is. So of course on day 1, you can make an outfit, day 2, day 3, just do it for however many days of the trip you have. And then you can go through and mark when you've packed certain items. So when you know that it's in your suitcase, it's sorted, you don't have to think about it anymore. And it works in the same way when you're trying to plan your weekly plan of just dragging items in from down below and populating your outfits that way. And then again, you can clear your packed list from this button if you want to uncheck all of those boxes. And you can clear the trip plan as well. If you want to clear the weekly plan and have nothing in there, click that button, everything will be empty. So the very last page is through the years, which you've kind of already seen a glimpse of in the first video, which I think I did honestly go through in quite a bit of detail. We've got the yearly tracker, so it's got every year that you've vlogged, and there's also a this year view in case you just want to see this year. I've put it up until 2026, but you of course can add your own afterwards. There is a template attached to the yearly tracker so that you don't have to worry about any of that. It will all work for you. So if we pop into it, I've now, as I mentioned in some of the other parts, added customized layouts so that you can really hone in on what you want to see. So you can close these all down and just look at the labels you want. And these are all different sections of the second brain. Of course, there's the checklist, which is the items that you still have in progress, your achievements, so what you've accomplished throughout the year, which is amazing to see, your para dashboard for the year, so how many notes you've made, how many projects you've had, etc. Your books, so how many books you've read, how many you're currently reading, and the page total. Your films and shows, your games, and your fitness. And then scrolling down is where you will see the full template. So the journal, any journal items that you've added will pull in here for the year. Your most recent habit tracking, your on-the-shelf book library, as you can see, a good year for me, your watch list, and your playtime. And that is it. That is the full walkthrough of my entire second brain. This has taken 3 videos, which add up to being about an hour long when you put them all together, not including the individual walkthroughs. So if you've made it through all of these videos, honestly, thank you so much. You're amazing. Thank you so much for watching, guys. You're the absolute best. So there we go, that was a walkthrough of my second brain and some of the pages within it. If you're interested in this template, it is linked down below. You can find it in my Etsy store. It is the template I am most proud of. I cannot even comprehend how many hours of work have gone into this template, honestly. If you have any questions at all, please comment them down below. I'd be happy to answer any and try provide any support that I can. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really supports my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.